welcome into today's episode. And usually it's just me here in this welcome, but I'm sitting next to Liv, and I figured, why not? Hello, Olivia.
Hello, Taylor.
This is the part where I usually do the business stuff, so we'll see if we can get through it with you sitting here. But welcome to the show. This is Forte Catholic, the podcast where it's all about making Catholicism fun again. You're stressing me out. You're ruining it without even saying anything. We're all about the joy of the gospel and making fun of our friends and hopefully having a good time. I keep hitting this sofa, and I'm not sure why. I'm pretty frustrated today, but we're going to have some fun. Don't you worry your little pants. So if you enjoy today's show, I promise it'll be better than this introduction. Hit subscribe wherever you're listening to podcasts or on youtube.com/Forte Catholic so you can see me punch this sofa and hopefully not Olivia. Enjoy today's show. What's up? And welcome to Forte Catholic. I am Taylor Schroll. That is Olivia Newton-John. How are you, friend?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm worried that your mic is too far away from you.
My mic is right here now.
Yeah, but then you look at me, and then you're away from your mic.
And then I get right here.
That way.
And then
Go away.
He wants me away. He thinks
Get
I'm
away
too
from
close.
me. You have cuties. Well, we are here in your studio.
Yes.
Because now, I don't even think have we told anybody?
We haven't told anybody that.
Yeah, I've been avoiding it.
Well, you did just get the contract today.
For sure,
so
I did.
That's
and I have
true.
some addendums. We haven't gone through those yet, but we'll do that off the air.
Great, perfect.
But I am here, like the last couple of times I have come to record here, because you used to drive to my house and then you
Yeah,
decided that
and
you
I still
hated
like-
me. I mean, you had some surgeries and it was difficult for you to leave. So I did the Christian, like, I'm not going to say like the chivalrous, like nightly thing.
Yeah.
But I did the chivalrous nightly thing and drove here instead to
Yeah.
record this show.
That was very kind.
Very kind. But then you decided to start paying me to do so. Because what am I
pay
doing?
My friends. I mean,
Yeah, that's not news.
Right.
ForteCatholic.com/donate.
no, I hired you to be my new in-studio producer for my late night show and my sidekick. So on this show, it's your game, and on my show, it's my game. So now we're equals.
Are we?
Hashtag samesies.
Are we? I wouldn't say equals.
Not even close.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried.
So we have recorded a lot of those episodes. They haven't gone out yet. Because how
Yeah.
this show works is like we record it and then we put it out immediately.
Right.
And you're like, I'm going to travel to the world and be gone for 87 months. So we got to record 2023's episodes.
I'd leave in less than a week. Again.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you're right.
all the episodes that I'm producing and am your sidekick on, they won't be out until like November. So in November, go subscribe to It's Not That Late with Liv Harrison. That's when they get good.
That's funny.
Thank you. It's not. I mean, sometimes the truth is the funniest thing.
And that is true, Taylor.
But yeah. So how do you think that's going?
I actually really love it.
You do?
Look at his face.
was
He's
wondering.
like, no, I do. I love it. But I've always thought, we've always said this. When the first time we met each other, we were like, we're very similar. We have great chemistry. We have great chemistry on the air. We do really well.
I almost failed chemistry. I cheated. to get
I
through that class.
absolutely failed chemistry, but I think we work really well together, especially we're both really silly, but we can be serious and like, I don't know. I think it's working out really great. I love doing sketches with you. I think we've done one, but I can't wait to do more. I don't know. I like it. What about you? You're the one. What do you think?
Let's move on.
Taylor, don't do that. You did that on
the first
purpose.
2 days were great and they were tremendous. Today has been a poop show.
Okay, but not because today was a very life show.
Because
life just happened.
Because of you.
You're the worst. But overall, okay, like I'm just saying, like the whole, like the feel, like the energy, the thought, the whole concept. What are you feeling? You liking it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Working in a different way.
It's fun. I mean, working in a different way as in I'm getting paid. Yeah, I really like
All right,
that
you
one.
know what? I'm never gonna find out. I'll ask Sam.
But it is fun for me because, like, ironically enough, so we have we're actually moving away from like I just changed the logo. Some people might be noticing it now for the first week, unless you like listen to last week's late. But like we're getting rid of like my face because like one, it's like it was kind of weird that like a nonprofit was just a guy's face, you know, and like yeah, it's me, but I have help. Like for the last 3 years, I've had the 4 co-hosts. I'm starting to like hire contractors to do some of the editing with me. That's been really cool. Like hiring people, training people to do some of that work. So it's not just me anymore, right? Which is cool. It's like a cool transition. But at the same time, it's like the show has not just a nonprofit thing, but also like y'all are a huge part of the show and have been for 3 years as the co-host. So what's funny is like I literally brought the co-hosts on because I'm actually better playing off people than I am just like looking into a camera and talking. So it's funny because like that's what I do on your show. It's like, I'm not the person in front of the camera talking, but then you say something ridiculous. Like you're talking like a show that's going to come out later, but we recorded. You're talking about like, you couldn't say baccalaureate. You told a story about human development, and apparently that's the degree that you got, and you didn't have to take any tests for it. And that's obvious because you don't know anything about human development. I mean, look at you.
I do. I know so many things.
I want those of you who have just been listening on the podcast and not watching on YouTube to know that as this conversation has gone on, Liv has started to curl up into a ball. She's literally sitting with her like arms wrapped around her knees. I think I might actually be hurting her. So let's talk about something positive. We both have done some traveling recently. I just have a small update, but then we can get into your trip because you did some fancy stuff. I did the fancy thing of going to Iowa, which like I've talked about it, but the only update that I want to give to the people who have been listening the last few weeks and have just heard me gripe and complain about all of my flights and all of these things. For the first time since COVID, small catch up for those that don't know. I have the smallest airport in the entire world. I have to fly to Dallas to fly anywhere, and then I fly from Dallas to my destination. So it's always 2 flights there and always 2 flights on the way back. No more, no less. Exactly 4 segments every time. And I all year, or like since COVID, since I've been flying again, have not had any of those 4. Like there's always been a problem with at least one of those flights, right? Where I have not been delayed less than 18 hours. I have been delayed overnight multiple times. And then finally, I'm coming back from Iowa, and I have had my 2 flights there worked. My 3rd flight from like Iowa, Nebraska to Dallas worked. And I'm like, you can't say this in an airport, but I was like, this plane's going to explode. Like, you know, like I was like, it's just nothing has gone right.
Right.
And I landed and I'm like, I'm alive. I made it. So we did it, guys. I had 1 flight that actually worked. I'm so happy.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why? You only live an hour and 15 from me. We've got a huge airport. We've got 2 in Houston. Why do you not just drive the hour 15 to one of the airports? Because that seems like the same amount of time. I'm just asking.
Yeah, because I don't live here. I like parking my car there because I would have to like either drive and park, and it costs way more here than it does in my airport.
At the spot.
Or I could. That's literally the name of it for those.
It is. It's called the spot.
Hey, where are you going? The parking spot.
$5. Yeah,
but like,
I was just curious.
It's really easy to fly in and out of
fine.
my city. You get to fly in and out of your city. Why can't I do it too?
No, I just feel bad that you're having these layovers and stuff. Like that's all. I'm just saying, like, would it help? But obviously it doesn't. So that's
it does not.
You've thought of it.
Here's my one last thing, and then we'll get to your New York story.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Here's what I realized after this last trip, is I have no more like flight trips planned for the rest of the year. All of the events that I'm speaking at are in Texas for the rest of the year. I am 1 trip, like money-wise and segments traveled. I am 1 trip away from like finally getting status with my airline. So here's my thing.
Yeah.
Do I just book a flight and just like go hang out? Like my plan is, I have reached out to one Jonathan Blevins to see if he would be interested. So we have met, ironically enough, in an airport.
That's
the only time we've ever met.
One time.
I want to go hang out with John. He's on the fence about it.
That is amazing. Is that true?
It's true because
He's really on the fence.
I texted him. I was like, "Hey, I need 1 more flight to get status with my airline, and I would like for you to be my excuse for that trip to coming out with you." He said, "I would like for you to come to my March Madness party." He has a March Madness party every year. And I was like, I don't think you understand. You didn't understand the assignment, as the kids say.
Oh, yeah. I understood.
I was like, I need to fly in the next 2 months. He's like, come in March. I'm like, bud. So,
Father Anthony.
Well, that's he's the backup. I've already flown to see Father Anthony for his 5-year anniversary. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind going to Gambo with Father Anthony again. Yeah. So take that, John. Yeah. You got a replacement if you don't say yes. Please say yes.
Go to Vegas, Like
by myself.
All right, fine, I'll come.
Exactly. We would get, that would get in so much trouble.
That'd be fun though.
Okay, speaking of traveling without you, you went on some traveling.
I have.
You were gone for a very long time.
19 days.
Who's 19
counting? Days. And I'm about to leave again, but for 2 weeks. And then I come back and I'm gone again for like around 2 weeks. So I got a lot. And then the whole next year's booked, like solid. It's insane. But yeah, so I went to New York. I went to New York, Connecticut, New Jersey. I spoke. I did a keynote. I did some network stuff with the radio that I'm with up there. And I went to Napa Institute, which is a big thing out in California in the summer. Only 75 people go in the winter. 800 go in the summer. So it was quite intimate. I was in Manhattan and I did the Napa Institute.
So you went to the one no one wants to go to.
I went to the one that no one goes to, but I made my mark, so that matters. And no, I actually had a really great time. And I went to Canyon Ranch, that bougie place I like to go to with my cousin. And I had my birthday. I was all alone, but I was with my cousin and my friend Mamie.
I was all alone, but I was with my cousin and my friend Mamie.
Not Nathan and Kana, not you. Okay. Yeah, so I was with other, and I did some Broadway shows. Zach flew in, my son.
Okay.
He flew in.
I thought we were gonna walk through this. You're just like, I am giving you a 19-day recap.
I was just, okay.
We're gonna go through it again slowly. We're gonna do a Lectio Divina on your trip. We read it first all the way through once. This is for you kids at home wanting to learn how to read the Bible. Take a passage that's very long and you don't understand why there's so much information, and you read it. Okay. And then you go back and you take it a little bit slower. You try to find words that stick out. Okay. So the first thing that stuck out is you said that you were. I'm just saying what I heard. This is what the Lord told me in my Lectio Divina of your life. You were gone for 19 days, and then you returned. And then you left for 2 weeks or something.
I'm leaving for 2 weeks. I'm about to.
You're leaving 2 weeks, and then you're coming back, and then you're leaving for 2 weeks again.
Yeah.
So this husband and daughter that you mentioned, do they know your name? Do you still remember their names?
I know. Well, listen, on the next trip, Nathan's coming with me. It's just the two of us for 2 weeks, which I am
So girl, what about girl?
The daughter will be with the parents.
Daughter.
When I leave again for 2 weeks, they're going to fly up and spend some time with me while I'm up there. Now, this last trip,
they have to fly across the country to spend time with you.
Do.
I see how it is.
I thought I was being nice. That they get to come and spend a weekend in New York.
You're welcome, family. I'm leaving you for the rest of the year.
I am. And I'm flying Anna up there, my assistant. So I'm doing all sorts of things. Yeah. So, but
also
last
not
time,
your family.
Zach flew up there. So Zach is my family. He's my kid. I made that one.
He's my family.
He's my family. I flew him from Pittsburgh to New York. So, and I was with my cousin the whole time. But yeah, no, Nathan and Kana will come with me next time. And Nathan and I are going for 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks without kids. So that's a long time.
We've heard about your bougie hotel. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. The thing that I do want to hear about is this thing that you said that everyone goes to, but you weren't invited to the good one. You got to go to, which is funny. I will share a story from this summer, and I don't know it to be true, but I'm pretty sure it's true. What I learned about my Life Teen trip this summer is that I could be wrong, so no one at Life Teen yell at me. But this is what I have observed and heard. The camp that I went to, the junior high camp, wonderful camp. I loved it. And I hope they invite me back again. Hope they don't, whatever. It's fine. But that's like the minor leagues for like the speakers and the musicians. That's where they go and they test people out. Like, hey, we're going to like not only see you do ministry, like they saw me sing and lead worship, play guitar and all that stuff. And like, but they got to interact with me and make sure that I'm not a crazy person. And then one day I'll get called up to the big leagues, hopefully, at their like high school camp or whatever. So do you think that's what this Napa was for you? Was it the minor leagues of Napa?
It's not an invitation. Anybody can go. Like, I bought a ticket. I didn't know it was going to be less people. I didn't know anything about it.
That's like being drafted first in the MLB. And you're like, I would like to go to rookie A-ball. Don't send me to AAA immediately.
Can I tell you why I did it? Because all my stuff takes place up in the East Coast, so I thought it'd be great to make connections there. Also, I'm really kind of glad that this is what I did.
Have you ever tried making connections here to like keep you here?
I have you. So yeah, so I thought, and it's more intimate. I knew it was going to be smaller, so it kind of gave me like, it was like a gateway. It was like a little teaser, a little taste. Got up there, met people, made my mark. Now when I go in July, they'll know who I am.
What is Napa? No one knows. It's the secret Catholic secret society.
Is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, let me just say this, and I mean this in the best way. There was a lot of wine because they like are very whiny over there, like as in wine.
I was gonna make the joke if you didn't.
Yeah, okay.
It's too easy.
I was way out of my league. It was so much.
In
not
what way?
In every possible way. Like I literally was like, everybody else was like a professor, or they had books with like Harvard or Cambridge or Oxford. They went
And
to
here I
boarding
am,
schools.
surprised you know those schools exist.
Exactly, you're the worst. They were in like 12-piece suits with like pocket squares. Right, and I'm like, hi, I have a show in my garage. And they're all like, "That's adorable. We own Seek." You know, like,
exactly.
like, you know, like, "Hi, we own, the internet." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, seriously, these people are. This is out of our league. These are beyond our friends in the circles we run with. This was a whole different playing field. But they were super, super nice, and I loved them, and they were really great, and they thought I was funny. So, I was a little different.
Let's get back to the question I actually asked. I
I'm
said,
trying to
"What
avoid
is it?"
it.
And you said they're out of our league and they drink lots of wine. So I don't think that's how they want to be represented. So I'm going to let
they
you.
do drink a lot of wine. Like I think they're okay with
That's
that
not
because
the
they're
point.
from Napa.
Why are the rich fancy people getting together? What's the point of this
It's
thing?
networking. I think it's networking.
Good Lord, this was a waste. You wasted your time.
Well, no,
You've
okay,
now wasted
here it is.
my time.
It's a conference. This one was focused on entrepreneurship. So they brought in these big experts to talk about being an entrepreneur, about being Catholic. It's absolutely for networking, for connecting. It's to learn certain skills that are applicable to being a business person. It is very business centered, and being Catholic. So it's like those two worlds coming together at this perfect place. There's Catholic University of America in DC. A lot of people from DC were there. There was a guy that's running for senator that was there. And so the guy that
It's always a strange term.
donated.
Why do you run for that?
I don't know. Also, that's why I won't. It's very athletic. So
Can
the
I
business
that's
school-
weird.
Yeah. Okay.
They run for public office.
Does everybody see that this is happening?
And then they sit like in their chair, like the chair of Peter, or whatever.
That's exactly where they got
yeah.
that from. So back to this. At the school, they have a business school. It's called the Bush Business School of Catholic University. The guy that gave all the things so they can have the Bush School is Tim Bush. Guess who owns and started Napa? Tim Bush. So guess who was there this weekend?
Tim Bush too.
Bush. So he as a hotel guy, he owns a lot of hotels. Like he just bought the Grand Duca in Austin. He owns a resort in Napa. He has whatever. So obviously he owns the business school at Catholic University, or they named it after him. So this is, he's the one that started this whole thing, and he saw obviously business is a big deal to him because the business school people were there. So that's what it is. It's these two places coming together.
I am more confused than when we started. And I would just like for you listeners and viewers at home
Now Napa's going to
to
kick me
know
out. I loved Napa.
there is a Catholic secret society, and we need to infiltrate them and find out what's going on.
Somebody said I should do comedy this summer, and I just want to let Napa know I'm available. There you go.
Glad you took this moment to do so. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and hopefully I'll have something planned. All right. Just say nice things about them.
Okay. I love them.
I'm going to go home.
I'm really annoying you today.
You
That's
really
new
are.
and different.
Yeah.
Just relax. Jeez.
I'll relax when I have pizza.
Oh my gosh. You're so hangry.
Hello, everyone. I'm doing the commercials with Olivia, too, because I hate myself.
But we love...
Pizza. I'm hangry. We just ordered pizza, and I'm going to eat it here in a little bit. But we also love...
Grotto Network.
Yay! You know who the Grotto Network is?
Yeah, I really do. For
I'm
real.
surprised.
I follow them. What?
You follow them?
Yeah.
Where?
On Instagram.
What's their handle?
Grotto Network.
Yeah! So what do they do? Let's see if I don't even have to read any of this ad copy.
They feature different people, different stories, different things happening in the church.
to inspire a generation of Catholics.
I'm inspired.
Whether they're falling away like her or a daily mass goer like neither of us. They also provide content that will help you navigate our crazy lives. I hope they have something about navigating crazy friends.
Oh, please.
With everything from advice on finding an apartment to dealing with toxic friends. With everything from... this literally says this, with healing from an eating disorder. I've been jokingly pointing at you, but we've talked about that. Not anymore. Okay. To finding a mentor, which you found in me. With everything from dating advice, you're welcome, to finding purposeful work. Liv's looking for it. Their Instagram is at Grotto Network. Share it with your friends. Go follow them.
I need to read them more.
Welcome back to Forte Catholic. I'm Taylor Stroll, and that's Olivia Eugene Harrison. I was here, the last time I was here, Catherine Whitaker was here.
That was the last time you were here? No, Laura Rowland was here. Sure. Oh, but doing your show. Yeah, that's the last time you were here. That's true. Yeah. That is true. You're right. Just
roll with the punches. So... There was a time that you, me, and Catherine Whitaker were in this room together.
Yes.
And you talked with her on your show about A&M. And you were making fun of her about A&M, and then you brought up Texas Tech and immediately lost the argument.
I mean,
which is true. Yeah. So a couple weekends ago, I went to my second ever Texas A&M football game.
How's that possible that it's only your second ever?
I'm not built of money like you. So games cost money. I don't know if you knew that.
Actually, no.
Yeah. It's funny because they say that being like a multi-millionaire, like athlete, I mean, maybe 10, but they talk about when you get into like hundreds of millions of dollars, just imagine being able to walk into any place and anything is free.
Sure.
Like that's what that type of money is. Yeah. That's your life.
No, it isn't.
And I'm not saying you have that much money. I'm just saying that's how your husband treats you. Yeah. He's like, you've never paid for anything. So I'm not sure, I'm not sure if you knew that you had to pay to go to football games.
No, I know.
Or if they just filled up the stadium and be like, no one else can come in.
I went from my dad's house to my husband's house. I got married right away. So I didn't have that, no, you're right. I get it. No, I know you have to pay for tickets, Taylor. So
I've lived there for 6 years and I've only been to 2 games. And over the years, I have become slowly adopted into the Aggie land culture, even though I'm not an Aggie. And I've begun to really enjoy them and root for them and all of these things. So I went to the game, and my first game, it was 2 seasons ago. It was pre-COVID. And I think I talked about it a little bit on the air, but just kind of the recap of my wife and I went to that first game. And we both went to small Catholic schools, little to no football teams, is if we're being honest. They had one.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow, I would have thought they didn't. Okay.
And they didn't until my sophomore year, whatever. It's this whole thing. I was like, I will play for you. Then they're like, we don't have any games. I said, I will not play for you.
You were the football team.
Yeah. So our quarterback looked like Jesus.
Really?
Yeah, and he played for a university called the University of the Incarnate Word.
Oh, how funny.
Who's the Incarnate Word?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. So literally Jesus was our quarterback. It was very funny. Very funny.
Touchdown
but anyway.
Jesus, but that's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So a real Catholic school. So we, some people are going to be angry about that. And I don't care. Go Notre Dame.
Irish. Go ahead.
I couldn't think of it. Why are they the Irish? They're in the middle of America. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Know.
So we went to the game. The big thing was they have all these traditions for the school. They have all these
what they're known for.
These yells and all of these things, and they do they all
hump.
When you're there, you have to put your arms around each other and move, which I didn't sign up for. And they have,
I know the song.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I know every single word, and I know all the. Yeah, I do. It's true.
Why?
You probably do too.
No, I don't.
What do you mean?
I just went to my second game.
Yeah, but I didn't. I've only gone. I don't even know if I've gone. I guess I've gone to one. When they used to play Tech. But anyway, go ahead.
So that was kind of the recap of the last one. And so it was interesting because that was my first A&M game and really kind of my first I'll start rooting for them, that sort of thing. I was in the town long enough. This is starting to become our home, all this stuff.
People.
But this time it's I am more in the group. But then I started noticing that two things really. With the traditions of A&M, so many of them are super cool, and it feels cool to be part of that tradition. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of them not a lot. A couple of them are very annoying.
Like the dog.
No, the dog's beautiful. What's wrong with you?
They have a graveyard for the dogs at the stadium. I think that's weird. I do.
I mean, dogs die.
I know.
They don't go to heaven.
It's
They
on
go
the tour.
next to
they
the
make you
footballs.
go to the. I just think it's weird.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead. All right, that's not the one you're talking about.
It's not. But here's the thing.
All right.
So I started getting annoyed, but I wasn't going to say anything because it's like
You're a guest.
I'm a guest, and I'm starting to become part of this, but I am a guest. And then finally, like these two things, and I'll tell them in a minute. But like even the person that I was with, who is an like Aggie, like literally
Beyond.
bleeds
We
maroon.
both know
you know,
this guy.
like
Yeah.
graduated from there, worked in their sports, with their sports teams, has gone to games for forever, like super Aggie, and even he
Beyond.
was annoyed.
Oh,
By
really?
two of the things that I was annoyed by. And I found that fascinating because it's like, oh, maybe I am starting to become more like into this, right?
You're
Because
2%er.
yeah, exactly. So I started thinking about it and I was like, on the good side, there's so many traditions and it's so easy to walk into that football game and like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm able to like look at everybody else and be like,
Yeah.
oh, like, you know, when somebody puts your arms around you and they start swaying, what do? You put your arms around them and start swaying, right? So I wish like we as Catholics were more like that and like welcoming in our traditions, right? Because like there's the two sides of the coin where it's like, oh yeah, like mass, okay. You could pretty much do like an Aggie game. What is somebody doing? Is everybody else standing?
Yeah,
You should probably
sitting,
stand. Is everybody
sure.
else sitting? Is everybody else kneeling? Do that. Like that part's easy. But like the Catholic culture and the traditions that come with that culture, I feel like are less inviting than like the Aggie culture because they're very much just like, come on in, we'll teach you the stuff. They love teaching you this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Catholics, when it comes to that kind of stuff, we're not that we're like bad at it, but it was just like,
Exclusive?
it just feels really, not exclusive, but just like not as helpful to
Well, the
newcomers.
Aggies have a lot of pride. And I don't know if Catholics have pride
Yeah.
around
Maybe
it,
that's
you know?
it.
It could be. Like, because
I'm
maybe
sorry,
they don't
we're Catholic.
understand. Yeah, like maybe they don't get it. Like maybe they'll, like Aggies, they are taught it. They go to camp to learn it. Like it's like a legit whole thing. So they have this pride about it. So they have ownership. But maybe the Catholics don't have like an ownership, you know? They don't understand it. We need Catholic camp. You just solved it, like fish camp.
Coming to you this fall from Forte Catholic. I'm just kidding. That's not real.
There's a place called Catholic Land. Did you know that?
Yeah, up in Ohio.
Yeah.
The place that last time we recorded together, I refused to go to.
So maybe that's where those people are. I don't know. I'm just saying they're very prideful. They really, and they all know and they all have a buy-in. Like they all own it.
Yeah.
Like they all are like, yeah, I'm in, you know?
I think
Unless
that-
you're a 2%er. Then that means you're not into the Aggie thing. That's what that term means.
Our pizza just got here, and the guy is like in a ditch, I think. It's very confusing. I've been trying to listen to you. I'm like,
You can't. You're
and just
so
staring
funny.
at this guy like come in and out of the driveway. I think he fell off your driveway.
And that could be true. That happens a lot. We're going to have it fixed.
Well, you're gonna get sued. Anyway, back to the Aggie traditions, and then I'll get my food and I won't be hangry anymore.
Yeah, you won't.
Maybe it might have just fallen in the ditch. But speaking of annoying things, like me
Well, are you
being
gonna share
distracted
the
by
two
this.
things?
Yeah, here's the two
All right,
annoying
I'm
things.
listening.
That was what that setup was for. So
I do have one I want to share.
so there's one. So there's this one cool thing. Like I didn't know. Like we got dropped off by a bus last time, so we parked in Bryan. This time, like the person that I was with had a parking pass, so we parked like really close to the stadium. And then they have like a walkway under
Yeah.
like the street, and you walk under the street, and then you go into the thing. Well, when you're walking under. You're in a tunnel, and it's pretty long, like maybe 400, 500, 600 feet. I don't know, something like that. So it's when you have, 1,000 people at any time in this whole corridor thing, it's really loud and echoey and all this stuff. So like at the end of the game, there's a guy singing, and it sounded great because the acoustics are cool. But they do this thing where they hit their rings against like metal. And it's like this, the Skidamarink song?
Yeah.
Skidamarink-a-dink-a-dink, skidamarink-a-doo. I love you.
I did really deep on that. Oh, I love
You be the man, I'll be the girl. I love you. So they would like, okay, we can stop now.
Okay.
The moment has passed. You know what hasn't passed? Our DoorDash driver. They're still very confused outside. This is why I don't have windows in my studio, because this is all that would happen. Like that person might be dying and I'm doing podcasts. So they would like hit their ring Like the skidamarinky, the da 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 da.
Well, that's because they're doing hullabaloo, connect.
Right. Yeah. So they say
hullabaloo, connect, hullabaloo, connect.
Right.
Goodbye to Texas University.
That's the whole song, but like this part of the tradition is just the da 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 da, and then everybody whoops, which is their thing. They
whoop a lot.
They did that. Somebody did it every 2 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And it was usually someone young or drunk.
So all of them.
The student section. So they did, and like the first time, it's like really cool, like to have like like we've all been watching Ted Lasso, and you have like all your traditions for your thing. Some of them are annoying though. Like or overdoing it was annoying it. Yeah. Like doing it one time, and like like one time, once. It's kind of like the thing like at weddings where everybody's like hitting the cup or whatever. It's like do it once. It's like I mean like it's like
got it.
How many times? Like, do you kiss your spouse like that many times in a day? It's like, come on. It's like, good morning, good night, and some other times in the middle. But like, other than that, it's like, we're not going to like
make out
or kiss every 14 seconds when someone hits the thing anymore. It's crazy.
That's so funny.
That's kind of what it was like, because I hate that tradition.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate that tradition at weddings.
So does he also hate that
when
tradition? The friend?
Let me tell a story.
All
so
right.
I like at weddings, you like hit it.
Yeah.
It's like 1 or 2 times, it's fine. But it's like after the 20th time, it's like, come on. So he was also annoyed by it. Thank you for, getting to that part of the story. Which I thought was fascinating, because it's like, he's like, for me, it was like, this is really stupid. I'm not really part of this, so it's annoying. For him, it's like, I actually care about this tradition and you're ruining it.
Oh,
which was fascinating to me, right?
Interesting.
And then the other one, what was the other one? What was the other thing I hated? I forget.
Can't tell you what I hate?
Sure.
I don't appreciate that they whoop during mass. Like anytime somebody says a number and it's your graduating class. So let's just pretend your graduating class was, 02, okay?
You think I'm a lot older than I am.
I don't know. What is your graduating? I don't even know classes. Graduating class
literally
of 12.
A decade later. Yeah, exactly.
All right, graduating class of 12. And that's great, actually. 12 works great. And they say something like, oh, there were 12 disciples. Whoop! And you're like, we're in mass. Like, do you know what I mean? That bothers me. I'm like, I'm all for it. That's great. But we do not need a whoop and especially if you go to an Aggie wedding, because they just whoop the whole time. And if it's a Catholic one, which more Catholics go to Texas A&M than any other university in the country, you go to a lot of Catholic weddings at Texas A&M. And so they whoop the whole time with the number thing. And I just don't think that's cool. That's my big thing. Other than that, whatevs. But that really bothers me. That's it.
I can understand that. For me, it'd be hard for that to be a problem for me, because I would feel hypocritical about how well I'm paying attention in mass.
Well, but they'll do it all through the mass. Like, it's not just one time. Or if you're at a movie even. I've been at movies, and here in Houston, a lot of people went to Texas A&M. That's why you just have to, like, embrace it. But I remember being at, it was either Titanic. It was, like, some huge film when we used to do stadium seating, and that was, like, brand new back in the day. Or, like, it was, like, Men in Black. It was something big. It was a big blockbuster. And we're all in the film, and somebody said, like, 24, and they all start going, whoop, 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 whoop. And I'm like,
it's funny, because when I hear 24,
gosh.
I think, boop. Boop, boop.
What is that?
Boop. 24, Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, I never saw it.
Really?
I never saw it.
Oh, man, that was my childhood.
Your childhood.
You were busy rearing children.
I just had a kid. Yeah, it was a new one.
So
anyway.
The second thing that really annoyed me.
Okay, you remembered.
They forced me to sin.
Oh.
I sinned because of an A&M tradition.
Really?
Multiple times.
They forced you?
Yeah, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. The Aggies made me do it.
That is now forever how I'm starting a confession.
For the end, just stop there. For these and all my sins, I'm heartily sorry.
And then they say, I get it.
And then he's like, say 3 Hail Marys, you graduated in 03. Whoop!
Jeez. That's exactly what would happen.
So, and I talked to one of my best friends in Aggie. And I talked to him about this. After the game, or I think it was the next day. There has been a change to their stadium. They upgraded their stadium a few years ago. And apparently this has been a tradition, but they haven't been able to change this tradition, or they haven't done anything to fix what is now an issue.
Oh.
So there has always been, it's an old military school, right? So a cannon would fire every time that they score.
Right.
Which, to be fair, years ago wasn't very often. But now, recently, they're a lot better, so they're scoring more. But a cannon goes off every time they score. And with the updates to the stadium, it's now like all fully enclosed brick. There used to be a whole open section so like sound could escape, right? So now the Aggies, every time they scored, I have not been prepared for it once. I know it's coming. That cannon has to be at like 8 billion decibels.
Oh.
And it scares the poop out of me. And I have said words that I shouldn't say.
Really?
Some of which are literally
4
one of the
letters?
commandments. Maybe what the third one? The one about not taking the Lord's name in vain?
Oh, no.
And also some other words. And it's all the Aggies' fault.
Well, and is this because you're older? And what are these dang kids doing these
No,
days?
it's very loud. It's very loud. I literally use my
Well, they
ears for
also
arguing.
make out during that, which I think it's funny that Aggies they need someone to help them out to make out.
Oh, that's really funny. I forgot about the kissing tradition because this time I wasn't with my wife.
They score, you score, is what they say.
That's
and I was
funny.
like, of course they made that up because they're Aggies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, to be fair, same joke as earlier. They didn't used to score all that much. So,
Nor without the football team. Huh? Okay. Anyway, but yeah, okay, that's what I thought you were going to say, that you had to make out with someone. And I was like, they can't make you do that.
yeah,
But
they
that
made me
wasn't
make
it.
out. My wife wasn't there. It was just a bunch of guys. I hated it. This place sucks. But like, so I already made.
That does sound bad though with the whole cannon situation.
It was,
Did anyone
it was
else
so
complain,
loud.
or do other people hate it?
A lot of people like it, but like it scares everybody.
Really?
Like I was with.
We need Catherine Whitaker's take on this.
Well,
We do.
well, it's funny. I was about to say. I mean, I'm not going to say what I was thinking.
Ooh.
No, I will. She talks about it in a book. She talked about it in a book.
Oh,
I think
really?
it's okay. She can use some language every now and then.
Oh, yeah,
So I would
yeah.
imagine
She's
she has a
feisty.
similar
She's feisty.
experience to me.
Sassy Catherine.
Sassy Catherine.
Sassy Catherine.
But yeah, so like the good thing, I wish like Catholicism traditions were more like the
Yeah.
Aggie traditions, where it was like really inviting and helping people and like seeing, but the other time it's like there are definitely things that we as Catholics do that annoy outsiders, and it can even annoy
Insiders.
right? So like I was talking to somebody who was actually like pro what I'm about to say, and I am anti what I was about to say. I didn't tell
Okay.
them that. But like small T traditions are the
Okay.
things that can change, right?
Right.
So like, stop hitting your ring. Like how even the Aggie, the good Aggie, he's like, that is a good tradition, but you are overusing it or misusing it. So stop doing it that way. That's like that you're taking a big T tradition and kind of making it a small T tradition of doing it literally everywhere. So I was thinking a lot about how like there's a certain tradition because of how Mass used to be. It was in Latin. People didn't understand what was going on, so they would pray the rosary, right? So praying the rosary during Mass, and then there was all this catechesis of like literally you're supposed to be paying attention during Mass. So they a lot of good Catholics stopped, and they're like, I'm gonna pay attention to Mass. But they started praying the rosary either before or after Mass. And like it's perfectly fine to like pray it silently. But it started becoming groups where it's like praying out loud. And it's like that's not your space to do that. That's everyone's place to pray, right? To where like I can go in and silently pray. I can sit and meditate. I can check my phone. Like it's all pre-Mass, right?
Yeah.
But like if you're praying the rosary out loud, I can't focus on anything over like what I came to pray about or all of those things. You're kind of like co-opting everything. And I think I talked about that with Father Anthony a few weeks ago. But that's just an example of like taking a good thing, a good tradition, praying the rosary, going to Mass, like all those things are good, but like the small T traditions of like, this really isn't welcoming to other people. And it's kind of making these actual good traditions a little bit annoying to people.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good one. I thought you were going to say priests getting married. It's like, you're annoyed by that.
Well, I'm fine with it if they were validly married and then validly ordained and stayed married.
Yeah.
It's the ones who are getting married after they were priests that are bothering
of
me.
the church. It's not a doctrine of the church.
Yeah.
It can change. So I thought you were going to, anyway. But no, that's a good point. Like the rosary one. And again, because here's the thing.
I'm talking about rosary before Mass and you're like, are you changing dogma? Nope.
No, not at all. But you're right. I mean, it's hard when it seems like it's a good, and it is a good, but then you make it about something else. Like for instance, I was at a retreat once and the talk that the person was supposed to give was supposed to be on like prayer or something, like something pretty blankety, like, you know, big broad stroke kind of a thing. And not only did the person take a half-hour slot that they were given and not talk about prayer, but gave a 2.5-hour talk on the Eucharist. Now, that's a hard thing to come back and be like, so that was not okay, what you did.
Oh, well, that's an easy thing to come back and say.
Well, back in the day, we were all in high school.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gone 2.5 hours if Taylor Schroll was
Well, we were in high school, and like the adults should have shut that down.
100%.
They should have shut that down.
That's I'm in the back, hey, 5 minutes, and then I'm in the back, like 2 minutes.
You've hijacked.
And then I walk up with my guitar, and I'm plucking it, and I
You've
pray
been
them out.
there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you've been there where people hijack the
Most
time.
of my job is getting people off of stages.
Oh, jeez. I have a story I will not tell today, but it was a bad one with a very famous Catholic. But it's tough. I mean, yeah, people think, oh, but I'm doing a good holy thing. And it's like, no, don't get confused. Don't
get it twisted. So ultimately, it's been on my mind a lot ever since I went to the game of like, what are the like small T traditions that are really important to me that actually aren't like the big T traditions? And then also, how can I be more welcoming and inviting into the big T traditions and even the small T traditions that we all really like. So just being able to differentiate between those two, not beating people over the head with stuff like the skidamarinka dinka dink stuff. It's just so annoying. Just don't be annoying. That's the main thing that I'm trying to get across. And ironically enough, you were annoying last segment and not this one, so it worked.
Oh my, I'm not high-fiving.
High five. Thank you. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Olivia. Have you ever felt called to share your faith with a friend, family member, or coworker, but felt nervous or afraid?
When I was a child.
Never again? I find that surprising. Perhaps you didn't know exactly what to say, or you didn't want to say the wrong thing. Well,
this moment.
We all know you said the wrong thing. This is understandable, though, and very normal. But when you love your faith, and most especially Jesus, you want to share this with others, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's this quote. And I want to see if you know who it's from. Modern man listens more willingly to witnesses than to teachers. And if he does listen to teachers, it's because they are witnesses.
St. Pope John Paul II.
You got some of the words right. Pope.
John.
Paul.
The third.
There's a one in there. It's because it's an I.
The second.
Pope Paul the Sixth.
The Sixth.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes, by the way.
Oh,
and they used it here.
Good one.
We're all called to be witnesses, examples of Christ in the world. But what does that actually mean? That's a rhetorical one. I'm not letting you answer that. This will go on forever. How do we share our faith without coming across as preachy? How do we overcome the fear of getting something wrong? I wish you had that fear. Check out the next Ave Explorers podcast series with our friend
Katie McGrady.
Yay! And special guests.
I don't know.
You don't have this list. Gloria Purvis, Father Blake Britton, Chris Paget, who I spent the weekend with a couple of days ago. That sounded weird. We did an event together. Mallory Smythe and more will explain how to evangelize in personal, engaging, and truthful ways. Head over to Ave Explorers Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, to subscribe today.
Yay.
Welcome back to Forte Catholic. Olivia Newton-John just hit the microphone. We're going to start over.
Sorry.
Welcome back to Forte Catholic. I am Taylor Schroll, and this is Try 2 for segment 3 because Olivia doesn't know how to be a human being. We're going to talk about personal hygiene.
Oh, God.
What a segue. I was sitting last night, and
your birthday.
No, you're very bad. This is coming out next week. You know this.
Okay.
Why did you make this so difficult?
Sorry.
You know the rules.
Start over again.
You know the law. Name that movie.
I don't know that.
A Life for a Life.
I don't know.
My debt is repaid.
I don't know. What is that?
Mulan.
All right, start over. Okay.
Would you like to stay for dinner? Would you like to stay forever?
Oh, yeah, that is Mulan. That's a great one.
Okay. Personal hygiene, ironically enough, because she was pretending to be a man and had to do different hygiene, like cut her hair. So that was definitely intentional, Taylor. Good job. So I have this thing. We're going to get pretty personal about personal hygiene because it literally has the word personal in it. I sweat a lot. This is news to no one. Anyone who has watched, like, it is crazy.
It is.
Watching, like, the YouTube videos of this show.
Yeah.
Like, the first segment, I look as good as I can. I was going to say great. I look as good as I can. And then the second segment, I get a little bead like coming down my forehead. And by the third segment, I am drenched.
You bring extra shirts.
Yeah, 100%. And now it's gotten to the point that like every 2 years, I have to replace my shirts.
Oh my God.
Because I sweat so much in them. And because of that, they get pit stains. Very gross.
Have you gone to a doctor?
Many times. About this? No. Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
I have looked it up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I'm like, I'm hitting the needles. I want to know what this is.
I have gone multiple times and I've looked it up and they were like, well, there are like things that they can do to make you sweat less. And then I'm like, but then I'd be 400 pounds. I sweat out all of the bad stuff.
So wait, were you a sweater before?
I've like literally always been
a sweater.
Sweaty. Like when I was in the best shape of my life.
You were a sweater.
Sweating like crazy. We used to do these. They would weigh us in and weigh us out of football practice, and every time. Like I talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago. People seemed to like that when I said that I was like tested by Baylor Medicine.
Were you really?
I was. We're not getting into that.
Okay, fine.
But I was like a human specimen. So. Well, yeah, very much was. Now I can't.
Different specimen.
Yeah, exactly.
Different.
Oh, now they want to test me like, how did you let this happen?
Taylor. It's a different
you
lab.
had a gift and you squandered it.
Different
what is wrong
lab.
with you? So,
switch labs.
I started thinking different lab. Like I'm a horse. You know what they do to race horses when they can't run anymore?
No.
They're gonna turn me into glue.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that really what glue's made of?
Yes.
I feel like we can make glue. Go ahead.
It shows you know.
So you sweat a lot.
I sweat a lot, and I was thinking about it because they have this new deodorant that's like that, even stronger antiperspirant and those sorts of things. And then they had this other one that was like where it wouldn't do pit stains, and I was like, that would be amazing because I hate that. Like I hate having to buy new clothes. I hate like having the pit stains. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm thinking about all of this stuff and kind of reassessing just kind of the things that I've always done. Every day when I wake up, I would put on this antiperspirant and I would do 3 swipes under each arm.
Okay.
1 down the middle and then 1 on either side. And then I'd do the same thing on the other side. And then I started wondering, it's like, this is yesterday. I'm 32 years old. I'm a grown man. Wow. And I realized no one ever taught me like what to do with deodorant. Like, did you have somebody in your life that was like, here's how you put on deodorant?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. But I remember being in 6th grade and there was a kid that used to put deodorant behind his kneecaps because he didn't know what to do with it. I remember that and I made fun of him and I feel bad. I'd like to apologize right now. But yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
I did. My mom is one of 7 girls. She's the oldest of 10. And so my aunts taught me stuff like that.
Okay. And I'm wondering too, like, let us know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube or like, let us know on social media, because like I did a poll on social media and people seem to be engaged with it. So which I was like, okay, let's keep talking about this. No one ever taught me how to do it. And I wonder if it's a gender thing. Or
That's
maybe
fair.
it's just a lifetime thing.
That's
because,
fair.
Like my hypothesis in all of this is that there are so many things that we do that we weren't taught how to do. Mm-hmm. And there are other things that like certain things for certain people just go through the cracks. Like I've had a lot of things on my mind of like just little things that I don't know. Like one of the ones, like narwhals. I thought that narwhals were fake because
everybody did until Elf, until the movie.
No,
Elf.
no, it was like 3 years ago that I thought they were like fake.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were just like,
why would
like,
it be real?
So like legitimately, like I think I just missed that day of school.
I
Like I was
know.
just sick that day, and then I didn't have that information for 25 years.
No one was taught about narwhals. None of us knew. John Favreau. That's it. That's the only person that knew.
Doesn't make any sense. Oh, because of Elf.
Elf,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, what? Are you just
He directed Elf. Yeah.
Brick? Are you just picking things out of the room? And I love John Favreau.
Matthew Perry. No.
So,
No, I think people assume stuff. I think
Yeah.
they just assume, like, especially like what you're saying, like the everyday kind of stuff. They're like, well, how do you not know how to put on deodorant? Well, nobody told me. Like, nobody showed me. Like, I
Right.
think that makes sense.
they were just like
Yeah.
with God, and like
Figure
I've
it
worked with
out.
genetic kids. It's like
Yeah.
you smell, take this,
Oh,
and go
yeah.
put it under your arms.
Yeah.
Like I didn't say like no coach or whatever is gonna be like do 3 swipes on one arm and 2 on the other. Like nobody
Yeah,
says that.
yeah.
So I did this poll and I was wondering because part of me was like, okay, I'm gonna sweat either way, even if I have the strongest antiperspirant. Am I putting on too much? Is that why I'm getting the pit stains? Because it's like the
Interesting.
deodorant sweating out,
Right.
So
That's
I was like,
interesting.
okay, I think I'm gonna switch from 3 to 2. No one told me to do 3. I've been doing 3 my whole life. It's clearly not working.
Maybe you should just dab.
Dab. I don't know. That would
Spray.
I think I need something. But I'm open.
Paint it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Seal it.
I'm just gonna cut my arms off. I think
Maybe you should shave. Why don't you
can
get
I get through my segment,
Sorry.
please? So here I am, thinking like I've been doing 3 my whole life, and I was like, I don't know what anybody else does. It's just a thing that I've never asked about, never thought about before. I was just like, this is annoying, and I want something to change. So I put out this poll: how many swipes of deodorant or antiperspirant do you put under each arm? And so the poll options were 0, I'm gross, 1, 2, or 3+. And I assumed that I was in like the high category because I know I sweat a lot, so I thought I was putting a lot on. 3+ got 61% of the votes. Over 100 people voted for this. So like whatever.
That's incredible.
Like 80 people said 3+.
That's amazing.
3 or more. And then people commented, they were like, how can you only cover the whole underarm area with only 1 swipe? Seems like it takes at least 3. Somebody said 5. Somebody said 7, always 7. Someone said, I'm a greasy Italian. I'm with that guy. Some days all the way up to 7. Some people said, this person said, I don't really sweat if I'm not exercise. I hate that person. Somebody else said, this makes me feel like I'm not swiping enough. So
Was
like,
it mostly men?
it's men and women. It's
Men and women?
yeah. It's like literally half and half in the comments. I don't know about the vote, but I was like, here I am thinking that I'm the outlier at 3.
And you're not.
And then I'm like, I'm going to move down to 2. And now I'm moving into
go up. Why go down? Why not do 5?
Because my this is gross. But like the pit stains aren't like my sweat.
Are you sure?
Per se.
Okay.
It's like the deodorant sweating out of me, and because it's like white. I don't sweat white. Not that
I
white.
would say maybe it'll block it more. It's like it's like a defense line.
There's literally like I have a thought.
No,
and
fine.
I start sweating. And like so like I cannot tell you how angry I am at this person that said they don't sweat at all. I'm so jealous.
There are some people that don't sweat. That is true. Also, but there's medicine. There really is like legit. There's medicine you can take, and you're not going to gain 400 pounds. They legit have like because there's an actual medical condition of people who sweat at a capacity that other people don't. That is real. I say it's worth looking into, or swipe twice.
Swipe left on my armpits. That's where we were going with that.
Tender.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining my joke. I love when people explain my joke.
All right. Well, there might be my friends listening. Wax your underarms.
No.
What if it's the hair?
That's gross. No, because when I was in high school.
It's not gross.
When I was in high school, I was very subconscious about how hairy I was, and I would shave my body.
Hairy?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Look at this.
Well, it's so light. Nobody can see that. You're not Robin
Williams.
Williams.
All the girls in junior high and high school did and made fun of me incessantly.
Oh. Okay, you're not.
I'm broken. This whole segment is brought to you by my junior high and high school brokenness.
Should we talk to your inner child?
Yeah, exactly. We are. That's literally what we're doing right
that's
now.
the only person we do talk to. Our inner children.
But it brought up 2 things for me. One is like the one thing that I feel like in Catholicism that no one ever, you actually brought it up earlier. Everyone talks about, but nobody tells you what to do. Everybody's like, especially junior high boys, that's when you start. You need to wear deodorant.
Yeah.
You need to put deodorant on. You know, the ladies in your family, hey, Liv, look, if you ever want to, get married to a millionaire, you need to start putting on deodorant. And like, so everybody says, hey, you need to do this. But no one told me how.
Yeah.
No one told that kid it doesn't go behind his knees. No one explained the how or what it looks like or how the adults were using it, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel so much like that with prayer. Ooh. So somebody was supposed to give a 30-minute prayer. Hey, you need to pray. Prayer is important. Yeah. Deodorant is important. You need deodorant.
And
prayer
how
is
to
the
do it.
But like nobody tells you like, hey, this is how I do it. How? I do 3 swipes under every arm. I spend 5 minutes in the morning thanking God for everything. I spend 10 minutes in the evening overlooking, doing examination conscious, looking at my day. I go to daily mass. I pray the like whatever it is for people. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't even know Lectio Divina was a thing till I was in college. I didn't know the not the daily readings, like Vespers. The liturgy of the hours, the office. I didn't know that was a thing. Like nobody explained to me how to pray, right? Yeah. Every talk I ever heard was like, ultimately came down to
you should pray.
Prayer is your relationship with God. It's the most important thing in your life. And I'm like, okay, great. I agree. So now how do I do it? And they're like, amen. And I'm like, crap.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like when I became a professional speaker, I started by
In air quotes.
stop. I didn't air quote at all. By being a chastity speaker because I hated as a teenager. I really did when they would stand up and be like, you guys, you shouldn't have premarital sex. You shouldn't have sex until your wedding night. Have fun, everyone. And then they'd leave. And you're like, but my boyfriend's really hot. And he, we make out in a car. Like, and so nobody taught you how not to have premarital sex. So when Nathan and I became chastity speakers, we were like, all right, forget that. We're going to lay down some groundwork. Like we're going to actually give kids tangible things. So as a speaker, it's still something I do today. Exactly what you're talking about. Cause I hate when they say like, you should have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And then they walk off stage. What does that look like? He's not here.
Right.
Like, what do we do? Like, do I have a notebook and he writes back to me? Right. Is it like Harry Potter?
Like the Voldemort thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. You got it.
I am Tom Riddle.
I mean, what does that look like? And I hate that. Same with like, you guys should really spice up your marriage if you and Sam want to have a good relationship, a good marriage.
Do I use cayenne?
Exactly. Like they tell married couples all the time, you guys need romance. Y'all need to have a date night. Like they just say these general things and then nobody tells you what that looks like, how to actually do that. Your kids should nap. And then they walk out. And I hate that. I'm with you. Ooh,
I am.
We struck a chord.
I'm really big into the how.
I am all about the how.
Because it's one of those things like it's a pendulum swing, right? Where it's like I didn't receive the how, so it's like I want to share the how.
This is our brokenness together.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where we're both wounded.
So I think whether it's like Catholicism or your personal hygiene or whatever it is, the two things that have been on my mind as I've been mulling this over and sad about how much I sweat. I've just been like, what can I shift from what I'm doing? Because putting deodorant on is good, but what can I shift? Do I need 7 swipes? Do I need 2 swipes? Do I need 1 swipe? Do I need to confront my lovely lady doctor and be like, oh, I sweat too much?
I would.
Or do I need to like reassess like the things that I miss? Like ask questions of like, hey, internet. Like,
where are the heavy sweaters out there?
It's like a personal question.
Heavy sweaters.
Like it's so weird to me because like I was like tentative about putting that out there.
Yeah.
So I put the poll out at like 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And people responded like crazy.
A lot of responses.
And
wait, is that on Twitter?
Yeah.
Where is that?
Yeah,
okay.
On Twitter. So just like asking questions and like getting the new information like it's information I literally never had. I had zero idea how many like swipes people use. Like with like teeth brushing, I know that like, oh yeah, the dentist says like do it 30 seconds and do this. Like we know a little bit more about that. Like
yeah, you're right.
You may not know what everybody does,
and
but
they
at least
do it there. It's not like you go to a sweat doctor and they lift up your arm and they wipe you and you're like, oh, I guess I should try that at home.
They're just like, bring more towels.
Yeah. He's like, you're only allowed to wear terry cloth, which is towels.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, I don't know why I said that.
So yeah, that's the two things I've been thinking about. It's like asking questions, even if it's like
how. Give the how.
Yep, that was my second thing. God, we're done with this. I'm out of here. That's Liv Harrison. I'm Taylor Schroll, and I am done. See ya! All right, that is our show for today. I hope that you enjoyed it more than we enjoyed recording it.
That's not hard.
We're going to go check on that pizza driver. He's not still here, but
our pizza is.
Golly, that was so weird. That threw me off for the whole rest of the show. I was like, I think that dude hit 4 trees on the way out of here.
That's because I live in a forest.
So don't hit the forest in the trees or something. Liv, I have a question for you. Do you know what Amazon Smile is?
Yes.
Do you?
I really do.
What is it?
It's where you can. Okay. It's where you can sign up to have a nonprofit get a portion of like whatever you're buying or whatever. Like I do it with my kids' schools.
Oh, well, you should do it for Forte Catholic.
Oh, so now I know.
It's really easy. So for anybody that has Amazon, you can sign up for Amazon Smile. The link is in the description, whether you're listening on podcast or in YouTube. It costs nothing extra for you. So whatever you're already buying on Amazon, it's Amazon donating to nonprofits. We are set up as a nonprofit with Amazon. So click the link down below, and then literally for a year, everything that you purchase on Amazon, they'll give us a portion of it. Cost you nothing and helps support maybe not your favorite, but one of your favorite Catholic podcasts. So thank you guys. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed today's show. Leave a review. Never mind. Don't leave a review this one. Don't review this episode. Review next week's. I'll be back next week. Bye, y'all.